Steel Curtain Network.
Touchdown! Touchdown para Calvin Austin! El Monte Washington es arma. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más? DJ Watt!
What's going on, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Steelers Preview Podcast. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Dave Schofield and Brian Davis. We have such a unique perspective this week. We've got Brian. We're going to hear from him about last week's game. Dave is going to this upcoming game. This is great. Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here, but there's a thin line between going to last week's game or this week's game. So, in the words of Coach Tomlin,
had male parts, she'd be my uncle.
So I guess that's the difference between the play-in game or the playoff game.
Yeah. All right, Brian, what's up?
Is it wrong that I'm picturing Mike Pettaway's Tomlin's aunt naked? I just had to say it. It sounded better than saying my aunt naked. Let's go ahead and I just want to say one of my favorite Steelers of all time. Jerome Bettis is wrong. I thought it was electric.
What do you mean he was wrong?
Jerome Bettis
you didn't hear that?
He was not thrilled with the fans for almost being wishy-washy at the game. So yeah, he actually said that this was not the Steelers crowd that he's used to. Almost they were there like expecting to lose. The fans were.
Now, let's ask a couple clarifying questions. Now, Brian, where were your seats when you watched the game Sunday night? Upper bowl, lower bowl?
Upper bowl, actually.
Okay. All right. Dave's season tickets are lower bowl, correct?
Yes.
Hey, but your brother is in the upper bowl.
Yes.
All right. I would imagine there is a stark difference between the vibe of the game at both of those levels. Would you guys agree or disagree?
Probably. Usually there's a stark difference between the level of intoxication.
Well, that ties into it for sure.
On the stuff that goes with them sometimes. Yeah.
I would just say that the fans were cautious walking into the game. And maybe that's what Jerome Bettis was talking about. I don't know. But they were very cautious.
Everyone was cautious. And then guess what? They're down 10-0, and everyone's thinking, here we go again. Here we go again. I mean, how many years have we seen? I saw a stat. What is it? The last 6 playoff games, the Steelers have been trailing a combined 73-0 in these games after the first quarter. I mean, it's insane.
It depends on how far you go back, because I know the one game against Kansas City, they were up 7-0 on a TJ Watt touchdown.
That's true.
That's the only. I mean, offensively, I could say that for sure going back. But yeah.
Well, let's just say that it is a deficit. So I'm thinking I understand why the fans would have been a little bit hesitant to say, okay, we're okay. Everything's okay. You would have felt like Kevin Bacon in Animal House when stay calm. All is well. Like that's what it with chaos and bedlam around you. I don't know, Brian, ultimately though, we talked to you in the post-game show. Now that the dust is settled, how was the experience?
It was amazing being there with my son and my godson. And it was just so much fun to be able to celebrate. But walking out of that stadium, I've walked the mausoleum route before, where everybody is like, where you kind of stick around. In fact, I stuck around one year, AFC Championship game, the last loss to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game at home, and back in 2005, the 2004 season. And I just stayed in my seats while the Patriot fans were celebrating, because I did not want to be a part of that walk in that concourse. This concourse, it was like New Year's Eve, but reason to celebrate. Everybody's running and hugging strangers, high fives, everything. It just felt so amazing, and the vibe was great. No one was thinking about the Texans at that point. They're just thinking about new life and the magic they just watched.
And the funny thing is I know, Brian, we spoke off camera, but the three of us have. Brian was not necessarily looking forward to this night game. But just, and that's not a cut on you. That's just fact. I wouldn't have been looking forward to it either. You're buying a ticket to a game that has no time. You have no idea when the game's going to be. Could be Saturday, could be Sunday. Who knows? But man, what a memory.
And mine was a gift too.
Well, yeah, but what an experience with your
Yeah.
son and your grandson. Like, what a memory. You're never gonna. No one's can ever take that away from you guys. That's
No.
an awesome experience.
I'll never forget it. And my son said something on the way home. He's like, I don't know if I want to go to a Steelers game again because nothing can top this. I'm like, yes, it can.
Well, Dave might on Monday.
I'm going to do what I can to top it. I'm going to hope to do it, especially for the first time ever being in the front row. I'm really looking forward to that.
I will step aside and gladly let you steal my thunder.
Well, I want to ask you guys this. A streak is going to end on Monday. One of these many streaks. So it could be that the Steelers Monday Night Football since 1991 streak ends. It could be that the Steelers haven't, their playoff drought since 2016 ends. It could be that the Houston Texans 9-game winning streak ends, or that the Houston Texans 0-6 road playoff record, that donut, it gets erased. I don't know. What do you guys think? Brian, I'll let you go first. Which streak ends, do you think, on Monday night?
I think the winning streak for the Texans ultimately ends if the Steelers play the way they're capable of and with the magic. I am not a conspiracy theory guy, but I want to go back 10 years and thinking that I think the National Football League in the back of their mind would love to see Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl, just like they wanted to see Broncos Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl 10 years ago. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying anything about the tinfoil hat's not on. I'm not saying fixes it in, but I think that would be a sentimental choice to see the Steelers make it.
But do you think that the NFL, the media, the hype machine that is the NFL, do they view Aaron Rodgers the same way that they did Peyton? Peyton Manning was the golden goose. He was the golden boy. He did nothing wrong. He was never a scandal. Tom Brady, there was scandals out the wazoo, and he was always kind of on the fringe. But do you really think they view Aaron Rodgers that same way?
No, but yes. No one's going to be Peyton Manning with that golden boy image. But Aaron Rodgers went from weird outcast to like inspirational leader in just one 17-game span. I think so. And now people are looking at it and saying, hey, this is what Aaron Rodgers does. And this is what I'm hearing from the national media.
Right.
And so I'm not saying that he's the biggest sentimental favorite, because there's a lot of people, because you know how many people did not want him in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
And I think the three,
first, honestly.
Yeah, you did it at first, but then you came on board really quickly because you realized, you looked at everything and you're like, all right, this works. We were like that. Outside Steeler fan just said they want a George Foreman story with Rodgers. Yeah, I think they do.
Okay.
And I think it's possible.
Sure. Dave, what's your thoughts?
I mean, if you want to take the I guess Phillip Rivers coming back changed it a little bit, but if you wanted to take the oldest quarterback in the league and the longest tenured head coach in the league and put them together and make it a storyline of tradition and this, that, and the other stuff, you definitely could. And if you're not interested, that's fine as well. To me, you were the beginning question was about streaks ending, right? That was what you had asked?
Yes,
that's correct.
So the streak that I want to end is the Steelers not putting forth a quality performance in the playoffs. That's what I'm looking to end. I'm not even let the chips fall as they go. I'm sitting there in the end zone in the front row, looking between the uprights. I want to look out there and I want to see the Steelers give a good quality performance. That's first. Once you do that, then anything's possible.
All right. Next question before we get to the injury report. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being it is the most important thing ever, 1, it is not even a blip on the radar. On your scale, how important is DK Metcalf being back to this team? Brian, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go ahead and say an 8.
Okay.
Close to an 8.5, actually. I think it's high.
You took my number. I was going to say 8.5.
Of course, Dave was going to go with a half.
Of course I was.
So, yeah. Okay, so you said 8.5 is where you are, Brian?
Yeah,
right.
I think it's very important. And we talked about this last week on this show at the end, saying that this is a different guy than George Pickens. This is a guy that seems to be a teammate, seems to be a guy with remorse on what happened, and he seems like a guy that's itching to get back in there and just shut off the noise from 3 weeks ago.
Dave, did you want to change your answer? Or do you want to stick with 8.5?
No, the only reason I'm going 8.5 because I'm like 8 or 9. Yeah, I would go in between. And that's because the only reason I'm not saying 10 is because the Steelers offense can't treat him like a 10. You can't suddenly get DK Metcalf back and have everything be all about DK Metcalf. That's the only reason it's not higher. It's extremely important. We saw the difference. I mean, especially going up against a high quality, one of the best in the NFL defense. We saw what the Steelers going up against one of the best in the NFL defense did without DK Metcalf. We saw that in week 17. I don't want to repeat that. That's why it's extremely important. But the only reason that's keeping me from going all the way up to a 10 is because I don't want the offense to be completely reliant on DK Metcalf now being back, that they forget that Pat Freiermuth exists, or they forget that you can use the running backs in the passing game like they did fantastically. If it's fantastically a word, I don't know. In week 18, but they didn't do in week 17, which is part of what led to them not winning.
I'm gonna say 10, and I don't think excuse me, I don't think 10 is indicative of the offense trying to force feed DK Metcalf. But my question is how important is it to the offense? It is a 10 in my opinion, because like you said in week 17, we saw what this offense against an elite defense can do. And let's be honest, the Browns have a very good defense. Steeler fans that say they don't.
At home.
Yes, Steeler fans that say they don't just hate the Browns and don't want to admit it, but they really are a good defense. With him just on the field, it requires attention. When he's not on the field, what did the Browns do? Shoot, we got these guys locked up on man-to-man. They're not going to beat us. They have no one that can beat us. Now with Calvin Austin and his speed, you still have MVS and Thielen in there. Hopefully Pat Freiermuth is trending in the right direction. He's been getting more and more targets out of the last 3 weeks. I think it's a 10, though. I honest to God do, and I think this guy is going to be itching to get back to do whatever it takes to help his team. I thought it was interesting. He was trying to get down to the stadium after the game on Sunday night, I'm sorry. It was so packed, there was no way he could get there in time. They told him to stay home. Could be a redemption story here. I don't know. Brian, any final thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I agree with everything that both of you said. And I'm thinking that throwing Calvin Austin III in there too, this is it's a different offense if you get Metcalf back and still have those guys.
Yeah, because he did not play in week 17 either due to his hamstring injury, I believe, right? Yeah, because he suffered that in Detroit.
Yes.
So, all right. Let's get to the injuries. It shouldn't take too long. Dave, do you have that stuff ready?
Oh, it won't take too long to do the Steelers.
Correct.
That's for sure. There were only 6 names on the injury report, and 4 of them were full participation. Both Aaron Rodgers and Ben Skoranek, because they had casts recently. I think the report last week was Skoranek's cast is off. I think Rodgers just has a brace. But because of that, they've still been listing them. Both of them are full.
Yeah.
The other 2 that were full, Christian Kuntz, since they ever brought in a long snapper for the practice squad, they haven't taken Christian Kuntz off the injury report. And he's been full for like 3 weeks, but he's still there with his knee at full. And TJ Watt, they listed him because he's a superstar at full. But what I think is key is who they didn't list. They didn't list Isaac Seumalo. They didn't list James Pierre. They didn't list Brandon Eccles. They didn't list Calvin Austin. I love that they're not even on there, even to list to say full. So that's great. The 2 players that weren't full was Cam Hayward was limited due to rest. So he got a partial day off. And Jaylen Warren missed practice due to an illness. Now, that I wouldn't say that that's nothing. We know the kind of illness that's been going around in different places. Hopefully, Jaylen Warren can get through that, and we'll be able to be at full strength for Monday night.
Damn, that's the second time, because Warren remember he was sick a couple weeks ago. And
they had to put him on there on Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was questionable, but then he was good enough to play. That guy's got some bad luck. But okay, Brian, thoughts on the injury report?
That's no new news. Just keep it the way it is, and all will be hunky dory, a word that I've never used, a phrase.
I will say this too, like having the extra day is going to really help with Jaylen Warren for sure. But Dave, any thoughts? I think this is about as good as it gets for a wild card game. You serious? I mean,
yeah. I mean, injury wise, I mean the only thing is guys on IR. I mean, obviously there's no Broderick Jones coming back. There's no Deshaun Elliott coming back. It sucks to lose Darnell Washington, but these are guys that you just knew weren't going to be there weeks, more than a week ago. So other than that, this is as good as it gets.
When there is a report, I know Alan Saunders of Steelers Now, he alluded to the Instagram story of Deshaun Elliott saying, like, I don't know, there's a picture of him maybe potentially having his window open. Just keep in mind, folks, last year at this time, and I want to say it was later in the week, they started the window of Cole Holcomb. They started the window of Logan Lee. I think there was a third player maybe in there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're like, hey, there's a chance they might be back. And granted, last year was a one and done situation. I wouldn't be shocked if you see that for a Deshaun Elliott, if they think there is an opportunity for him to return. But if they're like, hey, you won't be able to play until the Super Bowl, that's the earliest we would get you, and they're not going to open that window now. It's a 21-day window. They're going to want to wait a little bit. So we'll see. I did see that the players that could return, like Calvin Anderson, I don't know how serious his knee injury is. Broderick Jones, we've heard mixed reviews about his neck injury.
Yeah, I mean, when they compared it to Ryan Watts, I'm like, don't do that. That means
that's not good.
Ryan Watts is done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done forever. And then Deshaun Elliott. So those are like the three guys that could potentially have their windows started. So, okay. All right.
But you think if they would have done it, they would have done it today.
Yeah.
Most likely. Not definitely, but most likely.
I was thinking about that, just 21 days,
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about where that lines up on the calendar, them trying to figure it out. And if he's not ready, he's not ready. That's plain.
Well, if you wait till Friday, then that would be the day of if you keep going, that would be the day of your last practice before. Well, what would that wouldn't be?
The championship game.
That wouldn't be. Would that be AFC championship?
No,
that would be first week of the super first week of
Pro Bowl weekend.
Pro Bowl weekend. Very good. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's focus on the task at hand. What about the Houston Texans, Dave?
Okay, Houston Texans. I did a cut and paste here, but never actually read it. Okay, that's which was interesting. There was big news about Lassiter coming back to play this week. Could have played last week. Everything. Oh, he's out there at practice, but yet out comes that's the cornerback for Houston. Yet out comes the injury report for Thursday, and with an ankle and knee, they have him as not practicing. Okay, safety Jalen Reed was limited, but he's one of those that's in the window to return. Cornerback Derek Stingley with an oblique was limited. Jawar Jordan, running back, did not play or did not practice with an ankle. I think he's one that they don't. That looks like he's probably not going to play, but they have a lot of different running backs. Cornerback Johnny Carter, he's another guy on in the window on IR. He was a full participant. Long snapper Austin Brinkman with the knee was full. Jamal Hill, linebacker calf limited. Tackle guard Titus Howard with an ankle didn't practice. Tackle Trent Brown with an ankle and knee was limited. Tackle Ariante Ursery, I guess maybe. I'm going to get that wrong. With a thumb, he was full. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins with an elbow was limited, and defensive end Danico Autry with the knee did not practice.
Okay, Brian, what do you think?
Seems like fool's gold to me. I think you're going to have a lot of those guys in there, and the ones that you won't aren't absolutely guys that they're counting on.
I agree. I think that a lot of these players are either going to be activated off of the 21-day window out of IR, or they're going to play. Now, how effective are they going to be? Could they have an injury that gets tweaked in the middle of the game? Who knows? But I think both of these teams are going to have almost everyone available. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, because they basically played last week as a week off. They still wanted to win it and as much as they could, which they did, to get the higher seed. Because anytime you can go, if you're going to be on the road, and they still have the possibility of winning the division, if Jacksonville would have lost, so they could have potentially even hosted a game. But they also took the opportunity to rest some players. They rested some at halftime. So to me, if you had anyone that you were worried about, they should have already been resting. And I think Coach Tomlin, I like what he said with Houston, with them. I think for both sides of the ball, the strength of the pack is the pack. They don't have, other than somebody like a Nico Collins, they don't have anybody that I think stands out so far. I know Stingley's a really good corner and he was limited, but no one that stands out really way above everybody else that you would be like, oh, if they're, they don't have the TJ Watt type name that you would hear from the Steelers, or the Aaron Rodgers name, or the Cam, those kind of players that, wow, without them, they would really be in trouble. I don't get that vibe from Houston. So therefore, when it comes to who's playing and who doesn't, it is what it is to me.
All right. And this is just the first day, folks. Keep that in mind, even though it's a Thursday with the Monday game, everything's pushed back a day. So we don't have that trajectory of where players are trending and all that stuff. So keep your eyes out and ears for Steel Curtain Network and steelcurtainnetwork.com. All right, let's talk about keys to victory here. Let's go with offense. Brian, I'll let you go first. What's one of your keys to victory on the offensive side of the football?
I think scoring first, and would be scoring early, making sure there's no goose egg in the first quarter. I think that's most important. Definitely, I love the fact if the Steelers could go ahead and win the toss and defer. I think they have become a deferring team, which they weren't last year, it seems. I would like to see something like that. And, I would also, I think a key to victory here would be spread it around and don't get cute.
Okay. So you're saying if the Steelers win the toss, you want them to defer?
Yes.
Dan Dave's shaking his head in agreement, just like
yes.
I am. All right.
Well, as much as I want to see them win the middle eight, I definitely don't want to see them lose the middle eight. And when you're unless you come out and do what you did against the Bills, which we, or where you turn the ball over right away, or you're really quick 3 and out, you have a great chance. Your odds of losing it are bad because you at least get a possession in there. It's really frustrating. I mean, look at the last game. Even though they didn't score at the end of the first half, they got back-to-back possessions where the Ravens did not touch the ball. The only way they touched the ball was the kicker's foot on the kickoff. That was it. And I like that. I would prefer the Steelers to have that opportunity just so it doesn't happen to them more than anything. But putting your defense out there to start is good. But to me, my key is kind of like Brian's. You can't warm up to it. You can't warm up to it like they have before and wait and get the offense has to get into their rhythm. Oh no, you need to get into a rhythm, but you need to start further along in the process than what you have been. So I would say that, and the other key, since Brian already mentioned that, is did you say spread the ball around, Brian? Is that the way you said it? Because that was going to be my other thing. Don't forget who your weapons are. Don't ignore Pat Freiermuth until the final 2 minutes of the first half. They're not going to ignore DK. You know that they might try to take some advantages of maybe an MVS or a Thielen because DK has some of the attention. And don't forget your running backs in the passing game.
I mean, my key is simple. For the love of all things holy, don't give yourself the same thing we've seen for how many years in the playoffs where you're trailing by multiple scores at the end of the first quarter. I know you alluded to it, don't warm up to it. I mean, even against the Ravens, you're spotting them 10 right away. The mental gaffes, the breakdowns, which we'll talk about on the defensive side, but the offensive side. But I didn't mention this streak at the beginning, but wouldn't it be nice to break that stupid streak of scoring 10 or more points in the first quarter in a playoff game? That's something. What is it like?
They won't count it because it's a regular season streak, but still, that would be the time to do it. Yep,
70 games where they haven't put up 10 or more points in the first quarter. Like, wouldn't it be great to do that? I don't know. Let's go to defense, Brian. What do you got?
All right, this is not this is an offensive line that is probably the weakness of this team. They do have the Ursary, who is probably going to play. He is a second round guy. They got rid of Laramie Tunsil. They did not do a lot for this offensive line. So try to go ahead and go after him, but find a way to not let Stroud get out and kill you on it. because he is Lamar Jackson-esque, where he can, when he is rushed, he can probably turn a 7-yard loss into something bigger. Make it so they have to pass the ball and put constant pressure, but also have a shadow.
Yeah, because he is mobile. That's a good point. Dave, what about you on defense?
Well, the thing I kind of like about the defense for the Steelers is, Houston's offense isn't that dynamic. They really aren't. Their offensive line is not very strong. So the big thing with the defense is, okay, know your role and shut your mouth. Okay, go out there, do your job, communicate with each other. You can't have these lapses like you had against Baltimore, even though part of the reason there were lapses because of how much they were trying to sell out to stop the run. But the other reason I say know your role and shut your mouth is also don't do something stupid that you could stop a drive, you could make a big play and something like that, and you cost your team just because you're too fired up with that as well.
Gosh, when you say that, know your role, I immediately go into all the Rock quotes from back in the. I mean, my gosh!
I tried to do the eyebrow, and you might have noticed it, but I can't do it.
You candy ass. Okay, let's go
jabroni.
with
shut your mouth, jabroni. I say that to my kids all the time. My kids are a bunch of jabronis.
What do you think? It doesn't matter what you think. All right, I should start saying that to my kids.
Yeah.
All right, my defensive key is that this Houston offense wants to get a lead so that they can just start to squat on it and let the defense do their thing. Again, you got to prevent the breakdowns, the coverage breakdowns that we have unfortunately seen a lot this season. And so the Steelers can eliminate those. I think they're going to be just fine. This is going to be one of those heavyweight bouts with two defenses really slugging away at one another. And it's like, well, who's going to have the knockout blow? That's what I foresee. So we'll see what that looks like. But let's get to the super chat here. Justin Gall gives us $9.99. Says, what's your biggest concern with the Texans that maybe we're not seeing? Brian, anything come to mind?
No, I think it's the fact that we know who they are and we know they're dangerous, but I don't think there's anything hidden with this team.
Dave, what about you?
I was going to say, if you don't believe that their defense is that good, then you need to check yourself because their defense is that good. It is. Now, does that mean have the Steelers done well against good defenses? Yes, they have. Have they done poorly against good defenses? Yes, they have. So it's when you're talking about the Texans, yes, their defense is that good. But remember, the way the NFL is set up in this day and age is it does highly good shade towards the offense having the advantages.
I would say if there's a player that maybe people are kind of forgetting, it's Dalton Schultz, tight end. Mm-hmm. Steelers have struggled at times. I mean, my gosh, do we have to go back to the Packers game where I can't remember the Packers? Kraft, I think was his name, wasn't it?
Tucker Kraft. Yeah.
Tucker Kraft, where he goes ballistic. There was another tight end in there that had a good game. I think it might have been in Foxborough, New England. I don't know if it's Hunter Henry. Tight ends have had their number against the Steelers. Outside of the big play guy, Nico Collins, they love to get Dalton Schultz involved, so keep your eye on him.
Can we add another key? We did an offense, and we did.
Are you in special teams?
No. I want kind of overall / coaching.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Scheme, schematic, all those, with coaching philosophy, all that other stuff. Okay. I would say, yes, you got to respect that the Houston defense is good, but you can't play scared of them. You can't play scared of them being such a good defense. Like they basically played scared of Myles Garrett, like they always have. I understand that. You still got to, you've got to stay aggressive like you were against Baltimore. Don't go crazy aggressive. Don't go full on Dan Campbell. But you don't need to be going for it on 4th and 3 and at your own 20-yard line in the second quarter when you're up by a field goal. All right, you don't have to do that. But stay aggressive. Don't back off of everything simply because they have a good defense. You still got to go after it.
I like to call that calculated risks. You
Yes.
have to take calculated risks. So if you see single coverage, you have to take a risk. And Aaron Rodgers does that well. If he sees it 1-to-1, he's going to take a shot. He will. He's going to give his guy a chance.
And one thing, this is because this is both sides of the ball. Keep the crowd in it. Use it to your advantage.
True. Brian, anything you would add?
You know what I like to say? Don't get cute. But also, I say that a lot. People have been telling me, you say that too much. I'm like, all right. But yeah, don't get cute coaching-wise. And yeah, play hard and don't get cute. But also, make sure the equipment manager has the helmets working. Because I want to say something about that. You guys knew what was going on because you had Tirico and Collinsworth telling you this stuff. Mm-hmm. We just thought they were confused and wasting timeouts.
Yeah,
in the stands.
But I mean,
had no clue what was going on.
That was the timeout number 2 and number 3. I don't know if that affected timeout number 1.
No, timeout number 1 was, I think, earlier on.
Yeah,
but 2 and 3, yeah.
But what's so crazy is that was my first of many things of why the Steelers are going to lose this game. That I convinced myself of while watching. They're going to lose this game because they used all their timeouts. Oh, they're going to lose this game because they didn't convert on the extra point. Oh, they're going to lose this game because they gave a big kickoff return. But that was one of them. Is I was convinced that was going to come back to haunt them. And you know what? We're playing this week.
All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back after this break, only on the audio side. If you're watching live, we're not going anywhere. We're going to talk about over/under. We'll do our score predictions, some trivia, bad memories, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, Steeler fans, thank you all for being patient. We always like to save this gentleman's super chat till the start of the second half. That's Steeler fan 69. He gives us $5 like he always does and says, hiking in your 60s is a great way to meet new people. Today, I met 2 paramedics, 3 nurses, a cardiologist, and nearly Jesus.
That's one of the best ones.
I like that one a lot. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you for the tip as always, Steeler fan 69. We do appreciate it. All right. Dave, are you ready with the over-under totals?
Yes. So this is the end of the regular season, but we will continue on. We can kind of look at them as 2 different things yet combined if you guys want to. That is up to you. But last week was very interesting. Brian got both the against the spread and the over-under because he took the over, where Jeff and I, we both picked, even though Brian and I picked the Steelers to cover, we didn't pick them to win. We still get the point for that. Jeff and I both took the under. So Brian got 2 of those. Jeff and I just got 1. When it came to actually picking Jeff's over-unders, Brian only had 2, where Jeff and I each had 4. Yeah. So Jeff did make up some ground on Brian, but not on me. So that means for the season, picking the games, Jeff and Brian are tied at 18, where I'm way behind with 13. But for picking Jeff's over-unders, I am in the lead with 62. I'm 5 ahead of Brian now with 57. And poor Jeff is another 10 back at 47.
Okay, here we go. Wild card round. Let's start off with Aaron Rodgers total yards. Total yards. Remember last week he had a 20-yard rush. That would count. So I've got Aaron Rodgers total yards. I don't think he's going to necessarily have 20 yards rushing again, but I'm going with the line of 245 and a half. 245 and a half. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of I think I took the under last week, and that's one of the ones that hurt me. I think he's finding his stride, and I think even though it's going to be hard to pass against this team, it's going to be even harder to run. So I think he's going to need to be able to pass the football. So let's go over.
All right, Dave.
Sorry, Brian, to agree with you, but I had already written the over. Normally, I would go under against a good defense, but there just seems like there's more yards and more points in the postseason in games more than less. So that's why I'm going over with them.
I think the only way he goes under here is if they do a week 17 and don't throw it to their running backs. Yeah. But I think they are going to throw it to their running backs, so I've got the over. All right, let's go Pittsburgh Steelers team rushing yards. Steelers have been running it better the last 3 weeks. I've got this line 100.5. Over under, Brian.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the over here. I don't know what the average is for the Houston Texans, but I think you're going to have to find a way to run the football, and I think that includes maybe a Jonnu Smith version of not. I really don't like calling it the jet sweep, but a Jonnu Smith run. I think you're going to maybe get one of those trick Connor Hayward tush pushes that gives somebody a chance to break off 20. So,
Okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and say that.
Dave?
And that was 105, right?
Yes.
And they were exactly 100 last week.
Yes.
Which was interesting. I'm actually going to take the under just because I know how Houston is. I think Jeff's exactly right with using the running backs as an extension of the running game on the short passing game. I think we might see that a little bit more. But even if, I mean, they could run for 99 yards or exactly 100 yards. And I would still consider that a pretty good day. But I'm going to take the under just because of the quality of the defense we're going against.
I'm going with the under as well, not by much. I think they're going to be around 90 yards, and that still is an accomplishment. That would be a good day. If they go over, that's awesome.
Well,
If they go over, I think they win.
Just to let you guys know, when it comes to the Houston Texans running defense, they've only given up in their last 6 games, they've only given up over 100 yards twice. They gave that up to the Kansas City Chiefs and to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Interesting.
But they kept the Colts, the Cardinals, the Chargers, and then the Colts again. So Jonathan Taylor twice they kept under 100 team yards.
All right, let's go to the next one. Houston Texans sacks of Steelers quarterbacks. I've got this line at 3.5. The Steelers offensive line's giving up 2 basically the last 3 weeks or so. Brian, 2 per game, mind you. What do you think over under?
I'm going to go ahead and reluctantly go with the under. And when I say reluctantly, I'm afraid that they might go over here, but I'm going to go under because you need to buckle down. And we've seen them buckle down against guys like Trey Hendrickson, against Myles Garrett. We've seen them not give up too many sacks. I know this is a dynamic defense, but if you could keep it under 3.5, then you're going to have a much better chance to win this ball game.
Dave?
As soon as you were saying sacks, I put the number in my head. That number was 3. Therefore, I'm going under. But Jeff, that's a really good line for that one.
I'm gonna go over just to be different. I'm just trying to make up points. I'm
trying to think the last time they gave up 4 sacks in a game.
It hasn't been this year, I don't think. I don't think they've given up 4 this year. Maybe. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. So I'll think about it. Okay, let's go to the next one. The Steelers now sacking C.J. Strouder, a Houston Texans passer. I've got that line at the same, 3.5. Brian, over under.
I'm going to go under and say that the Steelers do it 3 times as well.
All right, Dave.
Unfortunately, I am 100% agree with Brian. These 2 teams, I'm pretty sure that was one of the numbers when I was doing everything with Greg. The difference in the sacks, the Steelers have 48 on the season, the Texans have 47. They are ranked 6th and 7th. They're right there, right next to each other. So I would have put the number at 3 for both of them. So therefore I'm going to go under.
I'm going over as well. I think both of these teams' defense really get after each other. All right, let's go DK Metcalf targets. How many targets is DK going to get? I've got the line at 5.5. Brian, over under.
I'm going to go over. I think he is going. If MVS can get 9 targets against the Browns, I think DK is going to get those targets too.
All right, Dave.
I've been trying to do this because some people were like, you need to make Dave go first sometime. Brian's at the disadvantage. I've been writing my answers before Brian goes, and I also had the over on that one. I think he'll be targeted at least 7 times, potentially more.
I think a lot of it's going to be as a decoy. I'm going to go under with 5. I'm going to go under with 5. I think they're going to shade his way a lot, and that's going to open up things for other people. And it's not until they have to adjust to those changes that then he starts seeing more targets. But I'm going to go under. Lastly, Chris Boswell field goals. And these are makes. I'm going to say these are makes. It's not just attempts. You got to make them. 1.5, Brian.
Yeah, I can see 2. Let's go over.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I had it. I didn't write it down before Brian did because I didn't have time to write it all. But I'm going to go. I haven't even picked my score yet, so this might contradict it. But I'm going to go over as well. I think Boz will kick 2 field goals.
I've got 2 makes, so I've got to take the over as well. All right, bad memories time. Houston and Pittsburgh.
What?
This is oh my gosh. I feel like these 2 teams have not played a lot in Pittsburgh.
Aren't we going to do game picks?
Oh my gosh, game picks. My bad. Yeah, thank you. All right, my fault. The final predictions. Jeez. This Monday things got me all out of whack. The Steelers are getting 3 points at home. The total has shifted south to 38.5. It opened around 39.5. I saw it go up to 40, and now it's shifted down to 38.5. So that's your total. Brian, what's your prediction?
All right, man, I don't want to jinx it. I really want to take the Steelers in this game. But I don't want to take them because I seem to do better when I don't take the Steelers. And I was glad to be wrong last week, even though I was right on the spread. So I'm going to go ahead and my heart is saying the Steelers. My brain is saying the Steelers, but my mouth is going to say the Texans. And I'm going to say that it's going to be a score of 20-17.
Okay.
Wait. Is it 3 or 3.5?
It's 3.
It's 3.
I don't want the push. It's going to be 20-18.
Okay. And that's just under. Because the under is at 38.5. Or total is at 38.5. All right, Dave, what's your score?
I thought about 20-18. I really did, because I'm sorry, even if I believe that the Steelers are going to win this game, what have I been doing where I've actually I don't even care about being right. I care about the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the friggin' game. When they have been underdogs, I have picked them to cover but not win. And when I have done that, they have been victorious. So why would I stop now? You're welcome. I already had people in other places saying, Dave's got to pick him, got to pick him to cover but not win. And that's what I'm doing. I've got 22-20 was the final score. So that's hitting the over barely.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
Barely as Brian's, but yeah.
I'm going to call this game, when I coached lacrosse, and I say this on Friday's Let's Ride podcast with Kevin Smith in the coach's corner. We used to have a rule of 10, get to 10, keep them off of 10. You win football. You win hot lacrosse games. I'm sorry. For football, this is a race to 20, in my opinion. If you can get to 20, I think you're going to win. Because I think that the Steelers defense can definitely keep the Texans off of that number. So I have the Steelers winning this game 20-17. I think it's going to be dramatic. I think it might come down to a last-second field goal. I'm here for all of it as long as the Steelers win and advance to the divisional round. I've got Steelers 20, Houston Texans 17. So, all right, now let's go to bad memories.
So you guys are both the under, I'm the over.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Yep.
All right. Bad memories. So we can do either location, because these teams, I feel like they don't play in Pittsburgh that much. All my memories are in Houston. The last time they played there,
they've only played in Pittsburgh 4 times.
Okay, how many times they played in Houston?
I don't know. I only have the ones for Pittsburgh. Here, hold on. I can bring it up real quick. That'll tell me that they've played. I remember them playing in on Christmas Day in Houston and crushing there. They have played 4 times in Houston.
Okay. I'll just never forget the game where Tommy Maddox threw more touchdowns to the opposition. They held them to like less than 100 yards of total offense and lost 24-6, I think was the final score.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, because Brian was there, that's what I was going with for the bad memory on this one.
Is that where you're going, Brian?
I can't, man. That's the easiest one for me. What's that?
Then I'm going Christmas Day if you're not going with that one.
That's fine too, but no. I am going to a game where the Steelers played in Houston And, you know, I keep on talking about partying like it's 2005. Let's go to week 2 against Houston. The Houston Texans, they thought they'd be cute, just like every other team tries to be cute and say, hey, it's September. You guys could go ahead and wear your black jerseys. That doesn't affect the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't care about it. They're comfortable in those black jerseys. It's not a problem. But the thing about this game is you started out the season with no Deuce Staley and no Jerome Bettis, and then you ended up with an unknown Willie Parker. Well, we started off the first game against Tennessee with a very nice effort, just a fantastic effort, and you're like, wow, Steelers got something. But is it a situation where he's just an aberration against the Tennessee Titans? No. He had a nice game the next week. Ben, who was under a lot of scrutiny in the offseason because the preseason, he just didn't look that great. And they're like, whoa, was he just a rookie wonder? He started off well, too. That was a nice win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they won that game 27-7. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but I've got great memories of 2005. I know everybody gets mad when I bring up 2005, but this team reminds me of 2005 in a different way. So I'm going to say 27-7. The Steelers go ahead and beat the Titans on September 18th, 2005.
You said the Titans? You mean the Texans?
The Texans. I'm sorry. Okay. The Texans. And by the way, 2 touchdowns from Hines Ward.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. It is time for trivia.
It is.
I'm trying to think of Texans and Steelers. This is going to be rough. So let's
because that's what we're doing again.
I know.
And this is not Oilers. This is Texans.
Good.
So I did not because the Oilers are part of the Tennessee Titans franchise. So no, this is Houston Texans and Pittsburgh Steelers. Had some good choices, good fun choices here. So Brian actually came through with the win last week. So Brian, the board is yours: 2, 4, 6, 8, or 1,000.
We're going to go with 1,000.
You're starting with the 1,000.
We're going big.
All right. Okay, this is an interesting one. Okay. This Steelers 5th round draft pick. Hold on. I had to double check something. Okay. Only spent 3 seasons in Pittsburgh and finished up with 3 games in his final season in Houston. While he was very heroic in his single 100-yard rushing game against the Patriots, he only had 5 attempts for 9 yards while with the Texans. Jeff had it first.
Who is Jalen Samuels?
Jalen Samuels, that's correct. Did you even remember that
Jalen
Samuels played for Houston? I sure didn't.
Oh my gosh. I just knew the Patriots thing.
Yeah, yep. Well, because I was afraid you guys wouldn't get it otherwise.
Wouldn't have.
So,
he played at NC State, didn't he?
Yes.
I do believe you are correct there.
Okay. Sorry, sometimes those things pop in my head. Okay. Let's go with 200.
And I was there when he rushed for over 100 yards. That's why. Jeff is going 200. All right, Here we go. This Steelers 1st round draft pick only played for 2 franchises, 9 in Pittsburgh, 5 in Houston, and now he is currently the Northwest scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bink.
Brian.
Who is Mark Bruner?
Yeah. Which someone actually already put Mark Bruner for 200 in the live chat if you were looking. Yes, it is Mark Bruner.
That's John. That's John S., who somehow has cameras in my house as I do the over under totals and guesses them.
So there we go. So Brian, the board is yours.
Let's go 600, Dave.
600. Okay. This former 3rd round draft pick of the Kansas City Chiefs.
We tied.
I actually heard Brian first.
Oh, son of a gun. That was a tie.
Go ahead, Brian.
Who is Steven Nelson?
You didn't even let me get to the good part of the question.
Son of
Could
Tatum
not stay
O'Neal.
out of my DMs while in Pittsburgh and finished his career in Houston.
Yeah.
But no, we were actually quite cordial with each other. Yeah. I had to tell him, like, Pro Football Reference. Oh, no, not Pro Football Focus, Pro Football Reference. That's where the stats are for you. I'm just reporting them. So there we go. So now that means Brian is up to, Jeff is up 1,000 to 800. So there we go. Brian, the board is
Let's
yours.
go 400, Dave.
Let's go 400. Okay. This Steelers player made 3 different stops in one season, one of which
Burp.
going to Houston. Brian.
Who is Deontay Johnson?
And is also known as the player that I hate more than any other. That is Deontay Johnson. Yeah.
When you said 3 different teams in one season, I knew it.
He played one game in Houston where he had 2 receptions on 4 targets for 12 yards.
All right. I don't know what the score is, but I know winner takes all on 800.
Yes, that's right. You were up 1,200 to 1,000. 800. Okay.
Let's go 800.
Okay. I'm trying to do this. Okay. This wide receiver played 2 years in Pittsburgh.
Bink.
Brian.
Who is Sammy Coates?
1 year in Houston and had 2 career touchdowns in the same game where he mangled his fingers and was never the same.
And you were at that game.
And I was at that game.
Yes, that was a Bumblebee game.
Yep, it was a Bumblebee.
It was a Bumblebee game. And what's crazy is he had 2 touchdowns and he dropped 2 others.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not trying to expose you, but I know if you went to the game, and I know the games you've gone to.
I've gone to a lot of games, though, Brian.
I know it's coming up, though.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you didn't have that. I mean, the only other person that I could have really gone with.
Oh my gosh! Can I say who it was? The other one, that Bryce McCain. Is that where you're going to go?
I was not.
I thought he was going to go Big Pimpin' Kendrick Green.
I was sitting there. I was like, Bryce McCain. He only spent 1 year in Pittsburgh, but this has got to be like the 800 or the 1,000. Like I was ready for Bryce McCain.
You would have got me.
I was going for would have been this. Hold on. I gotta look up something to make sure I didn't say this wrong. Okay. This undrafted player landed with the Steelers for 4 seasons. Then went to Tennessee for 6 and finished his career with the Houston Texans. Did I say undrafted wide receiver? Did I say wide receiver?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I should have said sorry.
Was it
won 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers?
Was it Nate Washington?
It was Nate Washington.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't realize he ended up.
I take trivia this way. As long as I get one right, I'm happy. I don't care if I win, as long as I get one right.
Yeah, I'm taking this thing too seriously.
I mean, I got into the question. I was waiting for him to just take the shot and get it wrong, and just like, I'm not answering. Because
I don't know.
Said this wide receiver, and Brian goes, beep. I should have changed the question to Nate Washington.
That would have been great.
I should have. I really should have done that. So,
Jacoby Jones would have been a good one.
Yeah, it's another one.
I mean,
I thought of
looking at ones that were the most significant for the Steelers. I mean, Chris Brown.
Oh, Merry Christmas!
Like you said, Kendrick Green, but I mean, you said Jeff. You're right, Bryce McCain, who started with the Texans. How would you have liked? How about? This is what I should have changed it to when I said this wide receiver. Okay. This wide receiver was drafted by the Bengals. Spent 1 season in Pittsburgh, followed by 1 season in Houston, where by the end of the year in Pittsburgh, he was unfortunately their top option.
Who is Kobe Hamilton?
Who is Kobe Hamilton?
Combat catch Kobe Hamilton.
Yep. So, yeah. There are tons of wide receivers.
Yeah.
You know, Steven Sims. Yeah.
Forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anthony Miller.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I almost pulled up was like, I was ready to go with Ben Tate, but once again, that's a game I was at. But did not realize that Michael Pruitt was in Houston for a game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah. I thought that
All
one was too hard. I thought Jalen Samuels was good enough.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, really good.
All right. Let's finish up with some final thoughts. Brian, I'll let you go first.
All right. Yes, I did go to the game last weekend, like we talked about at the beginning. It was absolutely wonderful. And it's really interesting because I had to come home and watch the game because you miss so much when you're there. And just like where we were booing, not me, but where people were booing because of the timeouts and didn't understand what was going on, you see everything when a guy like Tirico was talking. I have never been a big fan of Mike Tirico. I think I am now after watching that game again. I thought he called that game with excitement. And, I'm the only one that admits to liking Chris Collinsworth. But Tirico and Collinsworth were absolutely great. And I think this week we have another really good matchup as far as two guys calling the game in, I'm assuming it's going to be Buck and Aikman.
Yeah.
And
as long as it's not their second crew, because that was so bad last weekend.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other ESPN crew,
Yeah,
they were awful.
rough. But yeah, when you have guys telling a good story, well, the players are telling a good story, you get for just epic memories. So we're going to be talking about in bad memories 20 years from now, if we're still doing the show, if you haven't killed me by then. We're going to be talking about this game. It is forever etched in my memory as one of the greatest experiences of my life, but it was better for the fact that I was with, two special guys, two boys I've watched from the day they've been born, and Noah and Connor. It was absolutely fantastic. I gotta say, man, you'll never take that away from me, like Jeff said, and it was fantastic. But this is a team that I think can build so many more memories for this year, and I'm looking forward to them. Dave, man, I hope this is your great memory of a Steeler game, and we are going to. I mean, I hope you're just on cloud 9 on that drive home.
All right, Dave. Final thoughts. Go ahead.
Final thoughts. Okay, a couple things. First of all, you mentioned the whole Mike Tirico thing. He's one of my favorites. I think he does a phenomenal job. But if you go back and listen and watch some of these things, listen to sound bites. Tirico's were great. Rob King with Max Starks for the radio stuff. If you've seen any of those, they were phenomenal. Just epic, iconic stuff from this game. Because I will say most of the time when I have a problem with an announcing crew, it's not the play-by-play guy. It's usually the analysts, the Tony Romos, the Chris Collinsworths, those type of guys that drive me crazy. Like TJ Watt, or not TJ Watt, JJ Watt in that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now on to a couple other things of business. I still have 2 more tickets to this game than what I'm using.
Right.
Yes. So I'm letting people know. I have 2 playoff tickets available. I have 2 other front row seats in the end zone available. I'll even say it right now. You can have the pair of them for $1,000. Okay. Or if you're like, that's way too much money, but I'd love to go and be at the game for half that price. I have two tickets, 15 rows up. Bottom line is whoever buys whichever one, my brother-in-law and my nephew are going to sit in the other one. So either way, I've got 2 tickets available. If you can't go, someone who might be interested, anything else, please hit me up, STLR Superfan Dad on Twitter, or put @gmail.com. That's my email address. I've had some people asking about them, but Ticketmaster just jacks up the prices so bad for what you're trying to do. I mean, if you try to buy these tickets on Ticketmaster right now, they're almost twice as much just from all their stuff. They're at least a 50% markup. But so just putting that out there. I haven't figured out if I'm doing the mask or not. If I want to stress about being able to get it in the gate, whether or not you will see the Kylo Ren mask to look for there. If not, I might be able to see if I can get an SCN flag into the game. If not, I'll have my big oversized terrible towel, which is a beach towel. Regardless, I'm going to be between the uprights in the closed end. Look for me. I'm even hoping some people look for me because they're at the game. I'm talking to you there, Kathy and Afton. Hopefully I get to hear from you all as well. So if you have an opportunity to go to this game, and like I said, if you could swing it, contact me, because I'm looking for 2 unclaimed tickets that I'm trying to at least not take a loss on those. So please hit me up. For some reason, I feel a lot about this game like I did the Indianapolis Colts. And the reason I do is because I went to that game. And I'm sorry that my wife can't go to this game with me. With it being a Monday night, we can't both be away from home. But I don't think my son's ever been to a game where the Steelers lost. I'll have to go back and double check that.
All right, because I was offering to watch your kids because your wife is good luck.
Because she's never lost, but she's also never been to a playoff game. But my son, he's super excited to go, just to have that moment together. But I felt going into that game, I'm like, the Steelers are playing, when it was the Colts, I was like, they're playing a good team. Because remember, the Colts were the number 1 seed in the AFC at that time. And I'm like, but for some reason, maybe it's because I'm going, I feel like the Steelers can do this. And that's how I feel again. This feels different than other years because I feel that it's not like, wow, this is a long shot, but they could pull this off. I feel this is a legit, I know the Steelers are underdogs at home. I like that even better. But in my mind, this is more of a coin flip game. So I love having the more experienced quarterback. The defense has to step up and not have those breakdowns. I just can't wait to come back here next week and talk about the experience and hopefully be previewing yet another game.
Absolutely. We'll be back next week no matter what. Brian and I will be back on the post-game show after the game Monday night. Make sure you check us out, steelcurtainnetwork.com. That website is growing. We want you to be a part of it. It's totally free. Go to the top of the page, create an account. You can use the comment section to communicate with all of us here and all the writers at Steel Curtain Network. So check us out, steelcurtainnetwork.com, and check out all of our podcasts, not just those on YouTube. Go by searching Steel Curtain Network wherever you get your podcasts. Gentlemen, great show. I don't think it's going to be the end of the season. We'll see. But we'll be back next week no matter what. Dave, why don't you send us out?
Hey.
We'll see you next week, everyone.
Steel Curtain Network. Get it.
Everybody else gets a little tight.